All right, hello everyone. Welcome to my channel, Nib Pickin', where we talk about fountain pen reviews for artists. Today we are talking about the Kaweco Sport, which you can see is drawing away in the video right now. Decided to try shooting the drawing sample up front today. A suggestion from my wife, who watches all my videos and always gives me feedback, which I appreciate. Funny thing is, this zucchini isn't the normal kind of thing that I draw for this channel, but I do draw silly little cartoons from time to time, and this one was at her suggestion. Lately with the coronavirus pandemic, we don't get a chance to see a lot of people or even really say hi to our neighbors, but one of our neighbors has been putting out a basket of zucchini by the mailbox from their garden, and just saying help yourselves. And so it's kind of like that one way that we feel connected to our neighbors right now, with the pandemic sort of keeping everyone indoors. So she asked me one time to draw a little zucchini man, and we can turn the character into a thank you card and leave it also by the mailbox, which I forgot to do. And so this is my really late apology. Sorry about that, honey. But today we're talking about the Kaweco Sport, which is a nice little German fountain pen. And I say little because it is a pocket pen, the kind of thing that really has a small profile until you post it. Then it becomes pretty much a full-size pen. You can see I've got pretty large hands, and I'm not having any trouble dealing with it at all, using it to create this little character. Yeah, I enjoyed this pen a lot. I've had it for about 6 to 8 months. It's a funky design. It's not something you would see normally in a fountain pen, but I enjoy it. Yeah, this is where my drawing starts to get a little awkward looking, because it takes a lot of little tiny lines to make the texture that I came up with for the zucchini. And then I start to figure it out towards the end, but it just took a really long time to get there. I don't know. Sometimes when it comes to these cartoony things, you can really go overboard on the details. And if there's anyone in my life who I know is good at going overboard, it's me. Yeah, this was fun to do. Anyway, in a little bit, I'm gonna end the drawing sample, and I'm gonna show you and talk to you a little bit about this pen. Yeah, thanks for sticking around and checking it out. Hello everyone, welcome to Nib Pickin'. This is Steven with just another fountain pen review. I hope you enjoyed the drawing sample up top, just trying something new. So today we're talking about the Kaweco Sport, a classic German pen, one which has had a design centuries in the making. It's remained pretty much the same to this day. It's a pocket pen, so it's quite short when you hold it like this, but when you untwist it and you post it, you get this nice, pretty much full-size pen. It's really convenient, it's handy, it's reliable. I've had a lot of fun using this pen over the last 8 months or so that I've owned it. So let me just talk briefly about what I like about it and a few things that I don't like as much. So first of all, I mean, the first thing that you see when you look at this pen is just like, look at how small it is. You know, it just fits right in your pocket. This clip is really nice. I bought this in a kit that came with a clip, but oftentimes you buy this pen, the clip you have to buy separately, costs about $7, which makes it a pricier pen for a plastic pen. So that might be a point against it, but how reliable it is and the very unique shape that the pen has, it's very, it's not like anything else that I've seen anywhere. So it's pretty fun to have, and it causes a lot of conversations to get started. And some people who are not curious about pens may find that this pen, seeing it, learning about it, might spark some curiosity in the fountain pen world. So I do like it for that reason, and I have had a lot of conversations with people who are unfamiliar with fountain pens about this pen. So I do like that. I love the coloring, this classic green color with gold accents. The clip is gold, the finial is gold, and the nib is also gold. I should say a gold color, not actually made of gold. But yeah, I really enjoy this pen. I've enjoyed drawing with it. Let me show you some video of how it fills up and some of the parts and features, and then we'll check in for the final word. All right, so we have here the Kaweco Sport. As you can see, it's quite a small pen. If I put my hand right here, it's pretty much the size of the palm of my hand. The dimensions, of course, it becomes more comfortable when you post it, turn it around, and put the cap on the back. That's what it's designed to do. And it's a friction fit. It's not threaded like the Kaweco Lilliput. So I like that a little bit better because you can't put it on wrong. So this is what the pen looks like. If you purchase the clip, this clip is about $7 extra. You can also purchase it in a kit where it all comes together. Personally, I like this clip because I think this pen looks a little bit funny without it. So I did get this clip, and it says on the top here, since 1883. Okay, this is a well-known and respected brand in Germany. And there on the side, you can see the logo for Kaweco, and it says Germany underneath. You also have a finial that has that same logo. It's an embossed metal. It looks really nice. I think the green and gold is a winning combination. On the front here it says Kaweco Sport. If I take the cap off, I can see the pen. And just showing you what I mean by friction fit, if I take the end here and push it on top, there's the pen. Now it's full size. It's easy to hold, even if you got kind of bigger hands like me. So it unscrews, and I do have the converter because I like to buy converters whenever they're available. This is a mini converter. Even though the Kaweco takes an international cartridge, you have to have this smaller one or it won't fit inside the body. It's not terribly expensive, maybe $7 extra. I like to use converters whenever they're available because I think it's a little bit more eco-friendly, and that's just one of the reasons why I enjoy fountain pens. It says Kaweco right on the front there. In the plastic, and it's a plunger style, so you're just going to pull the end of it open, and when you push it closed, the ink would go out. This draws the ink in. The nib is also friction fit, so if I hold it firmly, it'll come out. You go long feed. The feed has some grooves on the edge that help you fit the nib back in, so you don't really have alignment issues, which is nice. Nib is a bit smaller, but it kind of matches the motif of the pen, and you can see some of these markings on the top here and the Kaweco logo, and an F for fine. And those are all the parts of the pen. Let's fill it up with ink, and we'll be right back. Okay, for today's ink filling, I am going to use a Diamine ink. This is Sherwood Green. I like it because it is pretty close to the color of the pen, as close as I could get. But I want you to note also as well, if you're interested in using cartridges, Kaweco makes their own cartridges that are quite nice. I bought a package of them when I first got my pen, and I used most of them up. I actually enjoyed the convenience of them, though I don't normally use cartridges. And this green color is lovely, so I tried to get something as close to that as I could. The filling is very similar. One difference is that with other pens is that this converter, you actually pull it up instead of twisting it, but the action is pretty much the same. So if I put it in here, There we go, filled with ink. I'm just gonna clean that off and we'll talk about making some lines. I'm gonna get a few lines with this pen. As I mentioned before, you take the pen off and you go ahead and you have to post it on the back to have a comfortable length for writing or drawing, or however you're going to use it. That extra step does kind of make it so that it's a little bit time consuming to get started using if you're capping it and uncapping it all the time. But for drawing, really, you spend a lot of time putting lines on the paper, so it's not as big of a deal. So this is a fine nib, and so it makes pretty fine lines actually. For a European nib, I find that you can get some really nice fine lines, and you can kind of see some people who do writing with these nibs. I've heard and seen in reviews that they complain about them not having very much character, which I suppose is true, but the line consistency here is really nice. So you can see what it would be like for me to shade a little circle, drawing longer lines. Sorry, that wasn't very straight. I've been away from my drawing for a while, so I'm not making very many good straight lines. Anyway, yeah, the amount of thickness that the line can get is quite good. It's not the thinnest line in the world, but it also has a very usable kind of middle range as far as a fine. For a European fine, it is quite fine. They also have an extra fine for this. So if you're really interested in going as deep as the Kaweco brand goes into the extra fine lines, you can try that. This is me just trying to fill in a space. Again, with these finer points, that's actually not really what the pen's designed to do, so you don't get that easy fill. There's definitely texture, there's definitely feedback in the nib, and I find this nib to be a little bit dry. Don't mind that, but sometimes I do need to kind of prime it. We'll see if that becomes a problem while I'm doing a larger drawing with it. But anyway, these are the sorts of things that you can draw, and this is how it reacts. And yeah, so far so good. So in conclusion, I really do like this pen. I think it's a great pen for art. It has a history and it has a very unique design. I think it's something that you would enjoy if it's your first fountain pen, or even if you have many other fountain pens. This is a great addition to your collection. Check it out. There'll be a link posted in the video. And thank you so much for watching my video today. Like and subscribe if you'd like to see more content from me, and we'll see you next time.